LIV Golf CEO and Commissioner Greg Norman said on Tuesday that he's been asked not to attend the QBE Shootout, an event the Australian entrepreneur and retired golfer founded and hosted himself since 1989. The 54-hole competition between two-man teams will be held at the Norman-designed golf course at Tiburon Golf Club in Naples, Florida, from December 9th to the 11th. Here's everything we know. First things first, what's the QBE Shootout? The QBE Shootout is a team golf event that takes place as an unofficial money event on the PGA Tour. It was originally played during the off-season, but it's now played during the December break of the wraparound season. Greg Norman has hosted the event since 1989, when it was known as the RMCC Invitational. The tournament was quickly renamed the Shark Shootout after Norman's nickname, and it has since gone by several other names. From 1988 to 1999, the first 11 editions of the tournament were held at Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. It was then played for a year at Doral Resort and Spa on Norman's Great White Course before moving to Tiburon Golf Club in Naples, Florida in 2001, where it is now played on Norman's golf course. The R&A decided not to invite two-time Open Championship winner Norman to the 150th Open Championship celebration in St. Andrews in July, saying that Norman would be able to attend again when circumstances allow. Moving on, if Norman's the founder, why isn't he attending? Norman wrote on Instagram that he had been asked not to attend the tournament, which he has hosted and played in every year since its inception in 1989. While the golf legend didn't say who asked him to skip the event, he did say it was because of his involvement with LIV Golf, a contentious alternative to the PGA Tour funded by Saudi Arabia that began its inaugural season this year. Norman wrote that in some people's minds, this was too disruptive, and for some, evolution is perceived as a bad thing. The retired golfer was saddened by the fact that after 33 long consecutive years of playing in and hosting every shootout tournament, a co-sanctioned PGA Tour event, this year he'd been asked not to attend. He assumed it might be because he's helping to give golf a new heartbeat, creating new value and delivering a new product that's loved by players, fans, and broadcasters alike. In doing so, Norman claims that he's finally giving players their rights as independent contractors to benefit from their performance and brand. But unfortunately, to some people, this might be too disruptive. Norman disagrees. He believes competition breeds excellence. Next up, what does Rob Hartman have to say about the situation? QBE Shootout tournament director Rob Hartman stated that event organizers had been in discussions with Norman about his role as QBE host for months, and that all parties agreed that Norman would not attend. He told the Naples Daily News that as they got close, ultimately the decision was made that Norman was going to step back and really let the focus remain on their tremendous charitable partners. Hartman explained that when this event was started 34 years ago, it was all about charity back then, and even today, it's all about charity. Nothing's changed. He added that Greg Norman just made the decision that he didn't want anything to distract from that. Now let's talk about what's going on between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour. Norman founded the LIV Golf League as a competitor to the PGA Tour, and it's funded by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. LIV has already snatched PGA Tour stars like Phil Mickelson and Norman himself as a former tour player. In turn, the tour has prohibited LIV-affiliated players from participating in its events. LIV Golf, along with a few of its players, filed a federal antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour last month. The plaintiffs claim that the PGA Tour improperly suspended golfers for competing in the LIV Golf events and illegally used its monopoly power to suppress competition. All Norman had to say about that was change is good. He thinks the evolution and innovation of the professional golf product has been needed for decades. The LIV Golf CEO CEO will be visiting Capitol Hill this week to meet with members of Congress as the Saudi-backed league tangles with the PGA Tour. Finally, everything aside, let's not forget the QBE Shootout's contributions to charity. There are a number of players who are determined not only to reach the top, but also to go the extra mile and truly give back once there. The QBE Shootout has raised more than $15 million for charities, according to Norman. One of the benefits of being a player on the US PGA Tour and the European Tour is the opportunity to contribute to and raise awareness for a variety of charities. Greg Norman has accomplished this through his tournaments, specifically the Franklin Templeton Shootout and the charity Cure Search National Childhood Charity Foundation. Over the past 26 years, the tournament has managed to raise more than $12 million for Cure Search to help fund targeted and innovative children's cancer research. Both the OHL Classic at Mayakoba and the Valero Texas Open are also committed to supporting local, national, and international charities and continue to raise funds and awareness for a myriad of programs year after year. Norman said in the caption of his Instagram post that he had made the decision not to attend the QBE so the focus could remain on the missions at hand. He explained that these charities, their missions, and the financial benefits they receive from shootout tournament donations each year is of the utmost importance to him and his family. The Australian entrepreneur also addressed all the shootout charities, the incredible volunteers, corporate sponsors, fans, and shootout staff, expressing his gratitude. He thanked them from the bottom of his heart for their continued good work and support, adding that he'll miss seeing them all this year, although he certainly will be there in spirit. Now, on to other news. First up, LIV Golf players push for retroactive world ranking points. The letter, signed by all 48 players at last week's Chicago Invitational, requests that the 54-hole shotgun start event be recognized alongside other world tours where players earn ranking points for 72-hole tournaments with much larger fields. The players said that an OWGR, official world golf rankings, without LIV would be incomplete. They compared it to England, Argentina, and Belgium being left out of the FIFA rankings. Obtaining world golf ranking points is a vital step for LIV players if they hope to qualify for majors based upon their world ranking, which could be a pivotal step in playing in future major championships. LIV players were permitted to compete in this year's US and British Opens, with the tour making its debut in June after qualifying for those events. Cameron Smith of Australia, who won the British Open in July, won the LIV Chicago Invitational on Sunday, with Dustin Johnson sharing second place. The players claimed that the level of competition at the average LIV event is at least equal to that at the average PGA Tour event, saying they knew this since they had played both. The letter points out that LIV has won 21 of the past 51 majors, and mentions Johnson's drop from 13th to 22nd in the world rankings despite a win, runner-up, and third-place finish at LIV. The players took issue with the rankings board and 4 of the 8 members' connections to the PGA Tour, which unfortunately views LIV Golf as an adversary. Next up, Trump has aides who follow him around on the golf course. According to Maggie Haberman of the New York Times, former President Donald Trump has aides who follow him around and recite the praise he receives on social media. Haberman said in a tweet Tuesday that she'd been told by several sources close to Trump that since leaving office, a rotating cast of aides has been tasked with relaying the praise he's received. It's long been reported that Trump enjoys receiving praise and surrounds himself with magazine covers, paintings, and other mementos of his accomplishments in his private offices. Lastly, third-ranked Smith wins the first LIV golf title at Chicago. Cameron Smith of Australia, the reigning British Open champion, won his first LIV golf title on Sunday, holding off Dustin Johnson and Peter Uihlein during the stretch to win the Chicago Invitational. In the 54-hole shotgun start event at Rich Harvest Farms, the 29-year-old from Brisbane shot a 3-under par 69 to finish on a 13-under 203. Number 3 in the world, Smith closed with back-to-back birdies, the last from 20 feet, to win by 3 strokes over the 2-time major champions Johnson and Uline. Smith said that he had to prove to himself and some other people how great a player he was. The record prize money at LIV Golf has attracted several big-name PGA defections, prompting the PGA to issue indefinite bans on former members and sparking an antitrust lawsuit in the United States set for trial in 2024. Smith's departure was a significant blow to the US PGA Tour, where he had won the Tournament of Champions in January, the Players' Championship in March, and his first major championship in July at St. Andrews. Smith added a $4 million LIV Golf top prize from a $25 million purse to his 2022 earnings, which include a $1.47 million for winning the Tournament of Champions, $3.6 million at the Players, and another $2.5 million at the Open. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think things are going to work out for Greg Norman and LIV Golf? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next one.